Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Mountain Blade Bannerlord and I'm going to be giving you the best axes, or at least telling you them. I can't actually give them to you because I don't know you, and I also don't have them. But with all that in mind, we're going to be going through two different categories of weapons today, one-handed axes and two-handed axes, and I'll be showing you the top 10 best for both. And this ranking will be based on a number of factors, including how fast you can use them, the damage that they do, the reach that they have, and the handling that they have. So I use a composite ranking based on how they rank against each other for all of those to get the actual 10. So while one might have higher damage than another one, if the other one swings faster and it's fast enough that it makes a big difference, then that one will rank higher. So there's a number of factors that go into it, but I find it to be pretty accurate. So let's just start off with one-handed axes, and we'll start off with number 10. So at number 10 for one-handed axes, we have the bamboo axe. And as far as stats are concerned on this one, we have a weight of 1.2. It's a tier 4 weapon, swing speed of 84, swing damage of 79, length of 73, and handling of 83. So it doesn't blow your socks off compared to a lot of the other axes on this list, but it is still quite good. And just as a fun note, I know a lot of people like to use swords in Bannerlord, but I honestly much prefer axes and maces. I think they work in most situations in combat a lot better, and the bamboo axe is a really good weapon. So that is number 10 for one-handed axes. Let's move on to number 9. For number 9, we've got this interesting one, kind of actually has like a native tomahawk look to it, obviously much longer handle than that, but pretty cool looking, I think. This one is the TZIKOURION, or ZIKOURION, maybe the T silent. I'm gonna say ZIKOURION because it's easier to say. We have a weight of 1.1, weapon tier 3, swing speed of 88, swing damage of 73, length of 81, and handling of 86, so a well-balanced weapon. Doesn't handle too badly, is decently fast, does nice high damage. Like all axes, it's going to have that extra damage against shields and stuff like that, so I like it better than swords for use against other infantry. It's nice and long though, so you can actually use it pretty effectively from horseback as well. I like this one. Solid axe, takes the number 9 spot. At number 8, we have the veteran warrior axe, which you can see I've got on my hip here. Pretty cool looking one, a little bit shorter. For stats on this one, weight of 1.2. It's a tier 4 weapon. We have a swing speed of 94, swing damage of 75, length of 62, and handling of 93. So this one is shorter, so it's not nearly as good on horseback. It's much better on foot. But because it's shorter, we have a nice high swing speed of 94 and a handling of 93. All of that still maintaining 75 for cut. So this one is quite a bit faster than the first two we looked at in more ways than one, but it also deals really high damage. So I like the veteran warrior's axe. As far as where you can find this one, I guess I should have been saying that for all of these. The bamboo axe and the ZIKOURION I find most often in Khuzait territory. We'll cover that up now. But the veteran warrior axe I oftentimes will find across 3 different territories pretty commonly. Most commonly in Sturgia, but I'll find it in the Khuzait territory, and I've also found it in Battanian territory. So the veteran warrior axe is a solid weapon, and it's relatively common. But on the bright side, most of the axes are pretty common, so if you're looking for a good axe, that's good news for you. But yeah, that is number 8, the veteran warrior axe. At number 7 for one-handed axes, we have the one-handed bearded axe, one of my favorites because of how it looks. It is a very Nordic-inspired axe. I really, really like it. It's very cool. But it's also quite good stat-wise. So we have a weight of 1.0, so quite light. Weapon tier 4, swing speed of 94, swing damage of 73, length of 68, and a handling of 91. So nice high speed and handling. Very good weapon for nimbleness there, which makes sense considering it's only 68 for length, and it doesn't weigh very much. And if you want to find this one, look in the north. Most often I find this in the Sturgian territory or from fighting Sturgian armies. I have also found it in Britannia though. So that is the one-handed axe, or one-handed bearded axe, which comes in at number 7. Let's move on to number 6. And number 6, we've got the battle axe, which I like the way it looks. It's so skinny, but it's got the spike on the back and the axe head on the front. Decent as far as a historical comparison would be. The battle axe for stats is again going to be quite good. We have a weight of just 1. Weapon tier 4 for this one. Swing speed of 95, swing damage of 92, length of 70, and a handling of 92. So this one's a little bit longer than the last two on the list, which makes it again more useful in various circumstances, like maybe if you want to use it on horseback. Swing damage is a little bit lower than the last two, but we have a nice high swing speed of 95, and with that length of 70 and the handling of 92, I think it balances out really, really well. So you can use this one in basically any circumstance, and it's going to be a very effective weapon. So that is number 5, the battle axe. At number 4, we have the SPARRING GALLOGLAICH axe. Now this one, I don't know where to find it. I had to use console commands to get it because I couldn't find it. Online, I found some people saying that you could find it in Battanian territory. Some people were saying Khuzait territory. So I don't know. I couldn't find it, so I had to actually use console commands to get it. But with all that in mind, it's an interesting weapon. Of course, it's blunt damage because it's a sparring weapon, so it's kind of more like a mace than an axe, but it works really well in combat. I tested it out quite a lot. We have a weight of just 1.0, weapon tier 3 on this one, swing speed of 97, 54 for the swing damage, and that's blunt, like I said. Length of 65 and handling of 95. So this one has lower damage than the last couple, plus it's blunt damage, so it's more like a mace than an axe. All in all, pretty solid weapon if you can find it, and people online said they found it, so I believe them. I just couldn't find it without console commands. But yeah, that is number 4. Let's move on to number 3. And number 3, we have my old favorite. This one used to be my absolute favorite one-handed axe in the game, and it is the rectangular bitted axe. You can see it on my hip there. It's quite long. So as far as stats on this one are concerned, we have a weight of 1.1. It is a tier 5 weapon, swing speed of 88, any swing damage of 82, length of 84, and handling of 84. So the length is very long, but our swing speed is 88, so it's almost into the 90s, so it's comparable with a lot of the other ones we've looked at, but the damage is higher. So well-balanced weapon all around. Because of its length, you can use it very effectively on horseback, but obviously because it's an axe, it's also quite good on foot. So yes, that is number 3, the rectangular bitted axe. Let's move on to number 2. And number 2, we have one that is a bit of a misnomer because of its length, the round bitted fine steel hatchet. And you can see it doesn't look exactly like a hatchet because of the length. But that being said, stat-wise, this one is very solid. We have a weight of 1.1. It is a tier 5 weapon, swing speed of 88, so decently high there, but swing damage of 82, so nice and high. Length of 85 and a handling of 85. So this one is across the board just well balanced out. It's not slow. It does nice high damage. It's long enough to use it in any circumstance you might want, but not so long that the handling drops too much, because we still have a handling of 85. All in all, the round-bitted fine steel hatchet is a very, very good weapon. But it's not my favorite. My favorite, of course, is at number 1. And at number 1, we have, like I said, my favorite, the spiked battle axe. This one is awesome. And if you want to find this one, I find it most often in Vlandian territory. Sometimes I found it in Khuzait territory, but I've gotten a lot of these from the Vlandians, which makes sense given the style looks very Norman. With all that being said, stats on this one are excellent. Weapon tier of 4 for this one and a weight of 1.1, swing speed of 95, so nice and fast, swing damage of 73, so decently high, length of 67, so pretty short, and a handling of 94. So this one is shorter, so it's not a very good mounted weapon. It can be used. I've used it effectively mounted, obviously because I've used it in Vlandian playthroughs. Super effective weapon, and I love it. But I'm just now realizing that I think I skipped one. I think I skipped number 6 when we were going through here. So just in case, number 6 is the sparring bamboo handled axe. This one is one that I was able to find in the game, even though it's a sparring weapon, and I found this one in the Khuzait territory. So as far as stats on this one go, a weight of 1.0, weapon tier of 3, swing speed of 99, swing damage of 52, and that's blunt damage, length of 62, and handling of 97. So like I said, this one is, it's farther down in the list, but I accidentally skipped it while I was going through the ranking because, you know, that happens. This one does come in at the number 6 spot, so right between the one-handed bearded axe and the battle axe. So now let's move on to two-handed axes. So at number 10 for two-handed axes, we've got the short bill, which is actually just a slightly shorter polearm. It's a bill hook, as you can see if you're familiar with the polearm, the bill hook. It's just that, but the shaft isn't quite long enough, I guess. We have a weight of 1.7 on this one, weapon tier 5, swing speed of 71, swing damage of 124, so nice and high there, length of 132, and handling of 67. This one has a nice high damage. The speed is not that low considering the damage. Length is very long, so it's an excellent weapon for each. Before we move on to number 9, I will just say this one is most often found in Vlandia, but I've seen it all over the place, so I've seen it in the Khuzait territory, and that's all the way across the map. But I most often find it in Vlandia. At number 9 for two-handed axes, we have the Blackheart, this cool named axe. I really quite like the way it looks. As far as where to find this one, you're going to want to look in the Khuzait or the Sturgian territory because that's where I most often find it, but I've also found it in Imperial territory. As far as the stats on this one go, we have a weight of 1.6. It is a tier 5 weapon, swing speed of 77, swing damage of 123, length of 119, and a handling of 70. So this one is quite long. You see we have a length of 119, but the handling and the speed of it are still pretty solid. And of course, nice high damage of 123. What's not to like about the Blackheart? At number 8, we've got this big beefy looking boy, the Executioner Axe. And now this one, I found it in multiple areas across the map, but 98% of the time when I see this one, it's in Aserai territory or after defeating an Aserai army. That being said, for stats, it comes in, like I said, at number 8, with a weight of 1.9. It is a tier 5 weapon. We have a swing speed of 78, swing damage of 123, length of 115, and handling of 72. It's not crazy slow, but it is on the slightly slower end, but it does have a really high damage at 123, which is great. But that's number 8. Let's move on to number 7. And of course, at number 7, we've got yet again another another polearm that was just cut down to length, the short-handled bardiche, because the bardiche, or bardiche, if you want to say it kind of Italian sounding, is a well-known polearm from the early to mid-Middle Age. That being said, this one kind of just looks a lot like the Executioner's Axe because it's about that length and everything. Stat-wise, it is quite good though. If you want to find this one, I found it in Azerite territory as well as Vlandian territory. As far as stats on this go, we have a weight of 1.6. It's a tier 5 weapon, swing speed of 86, swing damage of 117, length of 104, and handling of 78. So this one is slightly shorter than some of the ones we've looked at so far, but because of that, we have a nice high swing speed and handling on this. So that is number 7. Let's move on to number 6. At number 6, we've got another one that is primarily going to be found in Azerite territory, the Heavy Executioner Axe. So this one is very, very similar to the Executioner's Axe. It's a little bit longer, does a little bit higher damage, but other than that, very, very similar aesthetic and feel to it. As far as stats on this one go, we have a weight of 1.5. It is a tier 6 weapon, swing speed of 76, swing damage of 133, so very high there, length of 138, so quite long, and a handling of 69, which is on the lower end, but it averages out to be a very effective weapon. At number 5, we're getting into my favorite axes. From 5 up to 1, these are all my favorite two-handed axes. I love them all a lot. And just as a general rule, most often, now, like I said, there's exceptions to this, almost exclusively, you're going to find these in the northern part of the map. 99% of the time Sturgia, and then like 1% of the time Botania. But so for this one, which takes the number 5 spot, we have the Avalanche. This one has a weight of 1.4, weapon tier 6, swing speed of 87, swing damage of 114, length of 117, and handling of 77. So nice high damage, very fast, or at least decent for handling, and quite long. At number 4, we've got another one that is primarily a Sturgian weapon, so if you want to find it, look up there. The Drilled Two-Handed Axe. I assume it's called drilled because it has a hole in it. Otherwise, I don't know why it's called drilled. So I'm just going to assume that's why. The weight on this one is 1.3. It is a tier 6 weapon, swing speed of 87, swing damage of 114, length of 116, and handling of 77. So again, just across the board, it's got nice high damage, but it also handles quite well. It's quite long, so it's excellent on horseback. Solid weapon overall. Gotta love it. At number 3 for two-handed axes, we've got the Northlander Broad Axe. This one's an excellent example of a Great Dane axe. The Northlander Broad Axe for stats has a weight of 1.3. It's a tier 5 weapon, swing speed of 89, swing damage of 110, length of 115, and handling of 80. So this one, because of its decently high swing speed and handling ability, as well as its relatively long length and pretty high cut damage, just averages out to be an excellent weapon. And that I love very, very much. So that takes the number 3 spot for two-handed axes. At number 2, we've got my personal favorite. Like I said, I like all the top 5 a lot, but this one is definitely my favorite for two-handed axes, and it is the Northlander Decorated Two-Handed Axe. You gotta love how it looks. It's just so epic. What a cool-looking weapon. And stat-wise, also really hard to beat. We have a weight of 1.7. It is a tier 6 weapon, swing speed of 77, so slightly slower than some, but a really high swing damage of 138, length of 121, so also quite long, and a handling of 70, which is not terrible for a two-handed axe. All in all, again, it's just going to average out to be a really good weapon, but is my personal favorite. Finally, at number 1 for two-handed axes, we have the top tier Execution Axe, and just like all of the top 5 here, if you want to find it, look in Sturgian territory. This one is quite long. You can see we have a length of 137, making it one of the longest as far as two-handed axes go, but we have a swing speed of 81, swing damage of 117, and handling of 73 along with all of that. So it doesn't perform poorly in any regard. It swings fast enough to be respectable and competitive. It's got a nice high damage, handles decently well, only weighs 1.4 kilograms. Across the board, again, it just averages out to be a really good weapon. So that is all 10 of the two-handed axes, and before that we covered all 10 of the one-handed axes. I hope this list was useful and entertaining in some regard, or not, whatever. It's the end of the video, so now it doesn't matter as much. But that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.